wasn't. I was separating eggs.
Yeah. No.
That's
Yep.
my excuse. And
Yep.
that's what I'm sticking to.
Good story. I like it.
Yeah, I think so. What else is there? We've got to have some sort of story to dribble on with.
So you're
So
the Antaresia Queen tonight, I hear.
I am. I'm taking over from you, and
I'm just an Antaresia Prince. I'm nothing.
Prince. Oh, so I get Queen, you get Prince. Not
Yeah.
a punce.
Well, Faye's the Queen, so you'll have to ask her what relationship you've got going over there. So
Yeah. Well, it was good seeing. It was good to see Faisy today.
it was. Could you see her? She's under the radar normally.
Yeah, it took me a while to see it. Then I
tripped
realised I had to look over the counter, over the other side. Oh, there you are down there, Faye.
Oh, Faisy. Hi,
Yeah.
Faisy.
There, every time she walks up the counter, it's like Dickie knee. Hello.
Lucky we love Faisy. She'll be on here in a minute and you'll be in trouble.
Yeah. Peter, how you going, mate? Nice to pop along. So it's ant night tonight. So a double clutch. So
Double ant.
Yeah, I was going to bring the caramel zeb. It's not a great clutch, that one, but none of them have popped out of the egg yet. So I'm just no point. And by the time we probably get through this, that'll probably be enough anyway.
Enough eggs, big clutches, or
this one's 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I'm not sure what the other one is. Probably a similar amount, sort of thing. So
in efforts.
These all made the way. So last year I did blonde mac over platinum, and this year obviously I've done platinum to platinum to try.
What's the deal with platinum? Tell me.
I don't know. Like
there's a lot of stories.
There is a lot of stories, and I chatted to obviously some people think it's incomplete dominant. Pete Birch thinks he's not 100% sure. Thinks it's more recessive. So I actually chatted to him at the Fairfield show. He was there and had a bit of a chat, and I told him, I said I'd put blonde mac over platinum, try to get some lighter colours in there and see. And he goes, and he even said, so did all the babies come out looking like they got platinum in it? And I said, yeah, they did. And he kind of made the comment of goes,
blonde?
Sorry?
Or is it the blonde?
Well, they're different to the blondes. So the blondes I've hatched in the past, these are different. The markings are finer and less. And I said, well, it alludes, there was two things. One, I'm not sure if the parents are, if you look at it from an incomplete dominant point of view, if the male or the female are what you would call supers. They're very nice, very light coloured. They're quite really, really nice animals.
You bred them?
But I don't know. No, they come from Faisy. So all the clutch that I hatched from the blonde to platinum all look the same. There's just a similarity between all of them. So it would either allude to, in an incomplete dominant situation, that the platinum I use is the super platinum because they all have that mix.
Yeah.
But chatting to Pete, he's like, well, how do you know it's not polygenics at play? How do you know it's not polygenics in the platinum line? And I said to him, well, what does, obviously you have to have a wild type version. So what does the wild type form of where the platinum originated from look like?
Yeah. What's the base model of the platinum?
So what's the base model? So we know if you look at it.
Is it just a Mac?
Yeah, is it just a Mac? Is it a light color Mac? Like, I did know the history when these things popped up, and I heard that they were a mix and all sorts of other stuff. I'm not sure, but I really think it's an interesting topic. Pete has, I believe, by far produced more platinums than anybody else in the country. I mean, I remember going to Pete's 15 years ago, and he had clutches and clutches of them, and was trying to work out. And it's, I think, getting someone that has so much experience, and Pete is meticulous in terms of keeping records. Like he weighs everything, and like he's in terms of statistics, he's he's very, very good at
he
all that
does
sort
all
of
right.
stuff. I get lazy, but he goes pretty good. So I think, I'd actually love to get him on here. And I know he has said that he's happy to come on and chat about it. And I think it'd be cool to talk about that. And if he does believe they're recessive, then why? What is his reasoning? Like, he's no idiot. Like, he understands, he knows, obviously what he's doing. So I think it would be interesting. Sorry?
He's the dirt snake king, so
he's
done plenty and continues to do plenty.
100%. So it would be interesting to hear, his topic and, play a bit of devil's advocate and just question, why do you think that? Why is it not this? All those elements.
That's the tough thing with incomplete dominant, because it acts very much like polygenic line breeding and getting things, in second generations that look even better. Could be supers, could be just better versions of polygenics, and then breeding one of those back to a wild type. Oh yeah, they all look like, the first step of incomplete dominant. Well, that's polygenic too. You've taken something extreme light and now everything's a little bit light, like it's very hard to prove unless there's some sort of special visual factor in the supers or somewhere that you can see, like zebras, it's like, caramel even is a hard one because it's not that visually different often, It is sometimes, no doubt, but
well, one of the, to me, probably one of the first raging debates of a similar thing, which has been around for a long time, was hypo-bredli.
Yep.
And, it was renowned way back, probably best part of 20 years ago. That, hypo-bredli and your wild-type bredli and that was polygenic.
Yep.
But then you would see the same thing where a couple of people would breed them. You would get that polygenic variance or variation that you would get in a clutch. You get the polymorphic side of a wild type through down to your hypo, and obviously you get that, let's scale, for example, where at this end it's wild type, this end it's hypo, and when they breed them together, because they go, oh look, I've got some hypos and I've got some wild types.
Yeah,
but that's
the range,
the color range. In simple terms, that you will get anyway in a wild type scenario without being anything genetic. And it went, and that debate raged on and off. There was it's a super hypo and it's this, that, and the other. And then, even then, once they went overseas to Nick Mutton, even he did work on it, and then he was like, no, it's just polygenic. But it was
our caramels mixed in with Bredli stuff, so you got possible super caramel hypo Bredlis. It's just, there's some crazy things, and how you work any of that out, I don't know. Like it's mismatched too far in some areas.
Yeah, so I kind of look at the plate and think, well, maybe it's a similar thing. I guess in your head it's this. You see what you want to see. We've seen the same thing with hypo Darwins. They were around for many, many years. Bob Withy bred them for, over 10 years that I know of before they made the limelight. And even he said back then, it's just polygenic. I just get nice ones. You get this variation in it. Dave Raptor had bought some a long time ago. They were really nice, light-coloured babies. What they got up to look like as adults.
Dark.
The Darwins. It's just... You see it in a lot of things, but if you want to see something, you'll see it that way, whereas...
You can always plead the case.
Yeah, you can argue it either side. And, you pass on the information to people. They're going to, I tell you, I've done this, and this is what I've got, and you pretty up the picture, so to speak. What are you going to say? Oh, it definitely sounds genetic. Then if, you're getting this obvious, variation in the clutch, it must be. Yeah.
I just think platinum's been around long enough now. I would have thought someone would have unearthed the secret. But that's probably a good thing that if Birchie's done a heap of work with it and tons of clutches, you'll have the answer over 20 clutches, not one clutch flag wavers that it's proven because one clutch.
100%, and that's like as I said, I've chatted to Birchie in the past about coming on having a chat, and I know he's keen as, and I think that'd be a great topic to have a bit of a chat with him about, and he's not one to take offense. Like, I'll question him about shit all the time, and vice versa, but it's how we learn. Like, if I just take your statement and go, oh, okay, you must be right, without questioning you, and vice versa. I give you my opinion and show you because I want your honesty.
Yep.
You know, I want someone. I want someone on the outside looking in. Am I being tunnel vision here? Am I seeing, what I think it is? And we've had many discussions in the past. I know when you were trying to breed stuff out, I'm like, have you done this pairing? You've gone, oh shit, no, and vice versa. It works. But the moment you're offended by someone questioning you, give up, mate. Give up.
Yes.
Keep an open mind. Not everyone's out to hate you. I think too many people
questioning sometimes is good. It's good for the hobby that people question things and people have answers for them. That's how it works.
Definitely.
Hey, Kurt from Mr. Progressive Pythons. They're interesting. They are, mate. They're very interesting, and everyone's got their theories. So, and I guess how people react to being not questioned, but even discussing stuff is, I think, a true reflection of, their
character.
How do I say this nicely?
Don't.
It should not be an all-out war when someone says, have you considered this or have you done this to help prove the line? Quite often it's a way of adding more substance to the story if this has been done, but people take it straight away as, oh, what are you shitting on my story for? What do you say that for? It doesn't have to be that to be that. And I'm like, just asking the question, because if that happens and this happens, maybe it's not something. Maybe if it is something, it'll show up there and you can go, I think it's this because we've done this. And, it's everyone just gets a little bit too offended. And sometimes we're not very nice.
Well, like we kind of touched on a little bit the other. You can't prove anything in one clutch.
No.
You can produce something in the clutch. You go, okay, that's cool. You then need to back it up next year and produce some more. Okay, I've reproduced them. Possibly it's something reproducible, possibly genetic. But you then need to go deeper into it by outcrossing, in breeding it as well. And start to build a plan of okay, to try to prove this, I need to check all these boxes and do all these different breedings, and all these results should be the same in terms of whether it's a quarter clutch or a half clutch, whatever, depending on what if it's a visual to a het or it's a het to het or visual to visual, you want to have all your different ratios, but regardless of what clutches you do, you should always get the same sort of visual results on your percentages, so to speak.
Well, Darren Boswell says scientists do the same thing with their research. They make sure they aren't just seeing what they want to see. Absolutely, mate. And that's, like I said before, Darren, I was telling him about a Bradley project years ago. We're going to cut eggs soon too. We're talking too much shit here, but
it's an interesting topic. I think that's why
I would sort of jump in and say to Daz about this Bradley thing, done this, this, and this, and then Daz just burns me with, "Have you done this to prove that out?" And I just go, "Fuck you, Darren." Like, okay, let's do that. To go down that path. But sometimes you just get you just think you're on the right path and someone just comes and slaps you back into reality, So it's good to discuss these things,
100%. And, if everyone kind of took that attitude when people question it, rather than being, going straight on the defensive, and in being defensive, being offensive, if you know what I mean. Some people,
definitely.
Like in the case of Darwin, someone would crack the shit. So, if you can't see it, then you don't know what you're talking about. No, I kind of do know what I'm talking about. And if you think I'm just going to fall in line with all your other followers, then sorry, we'll end discussions now, because, if you need to do the work to prove anything out before you claim anything. So
absolutely. Kylie Southwell, can you recommend a website or book that explains basics of genetics and more? Certainly can. I'm going to send you a photo, Daz, of the absolute best book that I use to learn genetics myself. And it's one, be careful when you Google this book, because it's called Genetics for Herpers.
It's not herpes.
And, Google tends to interpret you can't type properly and gives you good stories about herpes. And if you happen to be on Images looking for that book, it's quite graphic.
Yep. Troy Lee, here you go, mate. Hope you're well, buddy.
You say a lot of people while I find this picture, Darren.
I do. So, Brendan Young, g'day, mate. Peter Staten. Adam's Family Reptile Den's in the house. Even, mate. How you going with your chasing 10,000 followers, mate? Hope it's getting there for you.
Get on his page and like it, whoever's watching.
Adam's Family Reptile Den. Go over there and give it a like and a share and do all that sort of stuff.
We don't have 10,000. How's he got 10,000? Get on our page and like our page, then go to his page.
Yeah, Adam, go to your page and tell everybody to come and like ours.
Everyone get on Facebook and like everyone's pages now.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Darren Whittaker, Messenger. This book, I think, has been hard to get. It's like a $30, $40 book, so don't pay the stupid money I see it online for. I believe someone told me once they got an e-copy somewhere that was really good. This book is very basic. It's done with reptile pictures, with lizards, showing how recessive and incomplete stuff work. I read it once, I had no idea, and I read it again, and I went, I sort of work it out. And the third time I read it, it just went click. And
genetics is one of those things, isn't it, mate? I know
it is.
I think I've told the story a million times, saying, I was confused as hell. I really got into genetics when I hatched the very first pepper, which was in 2007, and I had no idea what I was looking at, and I didn't understand genetics. And pretty much similar to what you, Brent, I had people trying to teach me and everything, and I got more confused listening to people than I was when I started. So I actually went and I actually did some research, found the genetics books, and started reading Punnett squares. And when you read too much in it too soon, you just get way in too deep, and it gets way too difficult to understand. And I took a step back, and one day I started fresh, looked at very simple, just a recessive gene and Punnett squares and red. And one day the same year, it took a few goes, and one day I just looked down and went, now I get it. That's easy as I understand it now. It's simple. But
understanding the two main genes and then what every gene actually is, and then it's quite simple. You work out albinos recessive, you work out jaguars incomplete dominant. It's just a case of piecing the puzzles together.
Yeah, but you come in now and people talk 2, 3, 4 genes, whatever it is, and when you're new and you're trying to learn and you understand, you're keen as and all that sort of stuff, it can be very overwhelming, very, very fast. And also very difficult to actually identify what mutations are in an animal. I can look at an animal and go, it's a Zeb jag, it's a granite jag, it's whatever. Whereas they can easily be mistaken for other things. So just take a step back if you want to learn genetics and just look at a simple recessive trait and maybe look at a Darwin and an albino Darwin and work out how all those different pairings go together and take it from there. But,
all right, let's cut some eggs. Shut up.
Let's go. We're not at work. You can't abuse me like that.
We are. My mother. Hello, mother. Miraculous because Brent doesn't read books. Ha ha, mother. I've read 6 books in my life. 5 of them were the same book, but that's all right.
And the other one just had lots of pictures.
Yes. Nowadays, there's much better technology than reading books.
That's right. All right. I've got to put on the goggles of seeing. So this is the
platy?
The platy clutch. Yeah. Yep. We decided to do that one. Yep, platinum to platinum. So I have no idea. This is the first time I've actually paired platinum to platinum. Yep.
So essentially, we don't know if the parents are just platinums. There could be super platinums, and normals in this, I guess. You should see basically wild types, 25%.
Well, it's platinum to platinum, so everything will be platinum. So I don't know if it's...
Not if it's incomplete.
Well, it depends. Well, true. That's assuming if both parents aren't in super platinum.
Unless one's a super, yes, then you've got the next problem. But yes. But one super or both are super. If they're all supers, they're all going to be supers. If one's super, there's going to be platinums and super platinums. So it's a mess, Darren. How are we going to unravel this?
I don't know. Maybe we should just go to one where we can see the difference.
Right. Gary Langley, shut your mouth. Talking about his 10 eggs. We'll tell your story later, you arsey bastard.
No, let's not tell your story.
No need to ruin the show for Darren. Oh, hello. See, I've never bred platinums, and that to me looks like super light.
I'll get the fatty tweezers. Whoa, hello. Is that better? I don't
That's
know. If that light's better, that light's probably worse. I think.
That's shit.
Yep. Okay. I thought that might be the case.
That's better.
There we go. I can't really see the computer very good, so you tell me if it.
No, that's good there, mate. That is super light, isn't it? Have you had just normal platinums before, or is this?
This is the first platinum. Yeah, this is the first foray into little platinums. I like them. I've liked them for a long time. So,
yep.
They're like a little blue tinge above the eyes.
Yeah. A lot of ants get that. I don't know if that's a Mac thing or a...
Yeah, you see it in the marbles and stuff too.
Yep.
All right. Oh, that's good. That's one platinum.
That's a platinum. That's a win.
I'm on a roll.
It could be a super platinum.
That's it. So yeah, some of these more.
It's definitely not a wild top. Yeah, Richard saying I thought platinums were polygenic. So did I forever, mate.
Yeah, same.
The carpet mutations. I don't know. There's some bullshit carpet mutations as well, mate. So I don't. Anywhere you go in this hobby, there's going to be some difference in opinion on things like this. Holy. Okay, well maybe we have a super. What the actual?
And when we discuss all that stuff, I'm not saying it is or it isn't anything. I just think it's an interesting topic for discussion. But that is definitely completely different.
Else.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Put that other one up beside it.
This other dude's going, I might pop out the egg.
He wants freedom. Well, there's something different going on there.
There's certainly a visual difference.
If that's polygenics, that is extreme level differences.
Yep. To be honest, when I paired mine and I hatched the blonde platinum clutch, when I looked at them all, my first thought was it says incomplete dominant to me, assuming that the platinum was a super, because everything in there was a difference. And maybe next time we do an egg cut, I might even grab a few of those babies and have a look at them. But I mean, let's just see how we go. So I'm going to put the dark one in here. Hopefully,
I just think someone's got to have done like platinum to other stuff to see it too.
They got. Well, I think that's sometimes the thing. Sometimes all in a race to chuck it into everything else, but maybe we miss. Playing with the basics. I know when I did the peppers, I wanted to use pure Darn and pure MD because I didn't want to have a whole ton of external influences. I wanted to see how it would react with just having the two basic color palettes, I suppose.
Yep.
Rather than, having a whole pile of mixed blood stuff and then I'm not sure what's coming from where. So,
The variety is good. Mr. Venom stuff. G'day, mate. Unusual to see carpet guys get excited with ants.
Well, the interesting thing, my first snake was on license was a diamond python. The second things I bought were four max.
Yeah.
So I've had them for almost as long. Well, there you go. There's another light one.
That's another super looking. I shouldn't say super. That's the wrong word. An excellent looking animal. Super looking. Definitely variation. That's insane lighter. Reduced pattern, lighter background. It's all happening.
Little head somewhere.
Yeah, stupidly us carpet blokes, we do breed a few ants. We cop some shit from people about, stay in your lane, Marty.
Where's
King Marty from the south. There's the head. Boop, boop.
Yep.
But, if people knew how far back some of our ant projects go, I got into ants a long, long time ago when there was talk about pied stuff. Way back when I got some stuff out of Shane Plank many moons ago.
That's right.
Fred tried to prove out a Stimson pied line after buying a whole clutch of outcrossed animals over 4 years to prove that there was nothing. That was lots of fun. That was lots of clutches of stimmies, though.
Yep.
But nothing ever came of it, which is what you have to do to prove things out.
Yes, so now I'm looking at this one. And I am
sort of in between.
Yes, I'm thinking I'm putting this on the side of. I guess what you'd call a het, I guess, if that's visual het, if you want to go that way.
Yeah, much more pattern, not as light based.
So there is a similarity between these two. There. So you can see a definite difference between those two and the other two. The other two down there are much lighter. So
they're
bloody awesome looking snakes, though. Whoa.
Very cool.
Right. Let's do this one. Chopped out. Be interesting to see how it goes in terms of ratios as well.
Yes, that's always a bit of an indicator. This one looks like another very light, reduced one.
Yep.
Cracker. The fact that they're almost quite distinct straight away, too. It's that
certainly points that direction, doesn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of like that looks super. The other one looks like the in between level.
But nice little stripe on it. There's the comments going there, Brentus.
Yep. Richard says, he assumed the old A and B grade were just polygenic variation. Definitely, mate. That used to be the way a lot of things got sold, of A grade max, and things. But I don't know. Maybe there were supers back then, and we just didn't call them the right thing. Maybe it is just variation, and there's always going to be better and worse.
Yeah, well, kind of the thing I'm seeing at the moment is quite a distinction between the two. Well, they've got three very similar, and obviously two others very similar. So there's a joint gap where you would expect in, say, a polygenic variation, you would get a breach from one into the other. So you would get a variation right through the entire lot.
Yep.
I think, and this is another what I would call a super looking one.
Yeah, I was going to say, looks more superish. They're just far less pattern on them.
Yep.
And Peter Staten says, come on, Daz, get a green one. That's going to be a big ask.
A green one?
A green platinum.
Where's my can of paint?
Something different.
Right.
Mick Lewis, some nice stuff there, Daz. Indeed, it's looking like a very nice bunch. Look at the more super ones coming out now. Look at that. There's the size of that are near deleted.
Cool, eh?
That'd be awesome colour. That's straight out of the egg. They're quite light, quite bright.
So coming out, like.
Hello, mate. They're so ready to go, Ants. Like as soon as they're sort of half out, it's like bang, let's go.
Yeah.
Carpet's a bit lazy. Want to dick around for a day or two absorbing. Quite often see the ants just launch.
Yeah. So the other side of this equation we need to look at is if what if both are supers?
Yep.
Is this just polygenic variation? I see a difference here, so I doubt it. But
you'd be looking at all supers.
You would.
The bottom row should be full if they were all, which would be more confusing because then you wouldn't know if they were just platinums or all supers. But
yeah,
at least here you've got variation. It looks like platinum or super platinum. Kylie says, how long do they usually stay in the egg after cutting?
Not long. It depends. Like these guys are ready to pop out. Like the eggs. You'll still notice the eggs are like pretty dry. Some you'll see quite fat and full of gillum. What's the word? I can't. Paspulum, albumin. Yep, that stuff. So, like these guys I'll pip today. These will be out tomorrow. So this one's already out over. He's like just hanging in there for no reason. He'll be out in no time.
Yep, he's just chilling. There's too much light here. I'll hide under this egg for a moment.
So this guy, I'm thinking, is going in the normal pile. He's
it's a bit lighter in the
darker.
base, but definitely more pattern.
Yeah. So I'll put him over here, I think. So he's a little bit lighter. Yeah, maybe he's in the middle. Split could be. It's definitely different. He's a little bit lighter than that, actually. There's definitely a bit of pattern.
Not a base color, but
I'm going to put him here because I'm not sure yet.
It's a lost
question.
Not sure. Variation. Tara Swanson, g'day. Well, I made it. Missed the last one. Well, they're always back on replay, YouTube or the Facebook pages. They lurk around for a while. Super Platinum. Very reduced.
I look here and I can see it really well. Then I try to look at the screen. These last, I'm like, oh, I can't. Everything's blurry.
You're doing it right. You're actually putting them on the screen and showing us. Normally, you just want to hide them off screen like a hog.
I do. I kind of like that, don't I?
Getting ready to hoard it.
Is this little head?
Very nice. David says, "Where are the wild types? Have you guys swapped incubators?"
No, what I did, I just went visual to visual. So this will be a wild type for sure.
Around. He wasn't mucking around with this one. He wanted action.
See, this is what we're saying. Sometimes this egg's a little bit full and plump, hasn't pipped. It's probably in a cooler part of the tub.
Yeah, much fuller, wetter egg.
Yep. So I won't quite cut that one as deep.
Leave it to stay full.
Okay. So what I would say, I would assume is
like more normalish. Well, platinumish. Definitely looks a little underdone, that one. Maybe certainly not as strong in the pattern.
No.
Development wise, might need a day or two in the egg still.
Yeah, this one might take a little bit longer. So it's a prime example of what I was saying. You can see the difference. This guy's like dry, ready to come out.
Yeah,
pretty much.
One's still swimming.
He's done, and this guy's still swimming. And that can be as simple as being, at the front of the tub, away from the heat cords at the back, at the very bottom,
Yeah.
coldest part.
And a little half degree, 3/4 degree variation.
Yep. So what I like to do with these is normally just tuck that flap in under there and let it go. So I'm going to put him here because he's light like these guys.
And Richard's saying if the parents were high quality, there probably wouldn't be a gradient as such. Correct? Spot on, mate.
Yeah. Well, the boy, I don't know if I've got any photos on here. I don't think I have.
Of the parents, yeah.
Yeah, I've probably
people call ones that look like those darker ones A grade, but now I'm interested. Yeah, definitely, mate. There's, I guess, everyone's A grade game can be different too. What one guy hatches out, calls A grades the best he's got, but along comes someone else with some super A grades.
Okay, so I think I do have. Okay, so I do have a couple of photos here. They're probably not going to show very well, but we'll just flick screens. We'll put my ugly mug up here. I'll go to this, and we need to go to this one. Okay, so down here's the pair. Right, and obviously they don't look the best because it's middle of breeding season where they look a bit darker. And you see the boy there; he's got the white liquid paper on him.
Yep. So you can pick them.
Yeah, and then
till they shed.
Yep, and then we'll go. And this is that's the female. So on this clutch of eggs. So that is her. So you can see she's quite light.
You think she's lighter than him during normal?
She is. It's kind of. They almost have like a different shade, eh? Like he has. You see, she's a very pastel, I suppose, color. Whereas he's a bit more silvery grey. Where it was, So you kind of see the difference in the colours. Where you've got her on the bottom here. I don't know if you can see my cursor moving on there on the right hand side.
Yeah,
but she's kind of, I guess, got a more of a yellow blotch, whereas he's more a grey, more two-tone sort of thing. So
yeah, but like you say, mid-season, they're probably not eating and been months on the job. They're never looking their best.
Yeah. So Not 100% sure.
You said both those parents, they came from Faye?
Yes, I'll have to ask Faye where she got them. She did tell me where they came from.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
like, I mean, if you had to pick the parents, I guess you'd say the mum looks more like a super, father maybe just a platinum. You know, like if you were playing that game. So
yeah,
maybe
she's
that's
quite pretty.
Why you're getting platinums and super platinums if it is an incomplete gene.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to do some harassing. So anyway, that's cool. So there we go. But guess what? That was a full clutch of platinums, mate. No wild types.
Platinum. Good job, mate. So we saw some platinums.
Yeah. There we go. TV's going to play this game on me now.
Now you can't drag and click.
Having a drag and click session. There we go. Sometimes when you share screen, it doesn't like it for some reason. I'm not sure why. So I will put these.
So what do you reckon? There's 6 of the super looking ones.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Definitely super lookings. I know this one's a bit in the middle, but I'd probably place it down until it comes out and sheds. I'd probably place it in
more of the just platinum.
Just the P grades. And this guy, I'm not sure. He looks a bit light, but it's a bit hard to tell. So until he
a bit underdone.
Yeah, until he actually comes out of the egg.
Yeah, pattern wise, fairly heavy though. That last one, the wet one.
Yeah, but no, not really. It's a light pattern. That's what's making it a bit hard. It seems to have a little bit more pattern than the ones at the back, but the actual patterning seems to be a lighter color.
Yeah.
So it could just be, that might just be a polygenic thing within inside the het version, if you know what I mean. Not just a single copy gene version. But until it comes out, it doesn't light in the background, though. One is that bluey steel tinge.
Well, if it is a super game, that's excellent result for what's in the mix of what results there are.
Yeah, I'll just take this stuff out. There's a tray over there. That can go in there. Put a couple of bits of paper in here. Put a water bowl in there after.
Luke saying, "Hi guys, g'day mate. Does this mean 2 platinum max won't make a wild type?
2 platinums won't make a wild type. Well, I suppose the subject
that way.
Well, it depends on the platinum, I guess, because if it's true incomplete dominant and you've got 2 het versions or single copy gene platinums, then theoretically you should get wild types in there because it'd be a het-to-het pairing.
Yep. Platinum, you get 25% wild types, 50% platinums, 25% super platinums if they are. But that's the trick to it, knowing what the parents really are.
Yep.
When you're buying in animals that you haven't bred or don't have a long history on you.
Well, that was
blind.
Yeah, 100%, and that was kind of the reasoning behind me putting it over a Blonde Mac. I just have to go back on my records and see which way it was. I'm pretty sure I put a Blonde Mac boy over the Platy girl.
Yep.
And I think I put the Platinum boy over a Blonde Mac, but I think the clutch was no good from memory.
Yep.
But
yes, still hard to work out because you still, whether it's a super or just a platinum, it's still going to be a fun road.
Yep, that's it. All right. Well,
or did you just get really lucky? Darren, get lucky? I don't know.
Look, I'm going to put Brent's face up there while I clean stuff.
Why you clean up your filth?
Yeah, my filth, my gutter trash. Bloody Antaresia Egg. So you got any questions while we're doing this and setting up for the next little lot?
I'll have a quick look through. We don't know if one was Birchies and one was Reptilia.
I would have to ask Faye, and I probably could message her, but if she's around, she was probably on. What's today? Thursday. Oh no, Faye will be watching the TV show.
She was in her pajamas.
Yep.
About looking ready for bed when I spoke to her just before the show. She FaceTimed me.
Yep.
She said sorry she was in her pajamas, and I said, well, I'm glad he got something on.
I'm just going to leave that all alone. I'm just trusting you're telling us the truth, Brent.
I certainly was. I was there to see snakes, not Faye's green pajamas.
Ah.
Do that stay? Look through. We got to that. Gaz wants to see the adults. We have seen the adults. I think we covered most of it.
Yeah, the actual adults are way across on the other side of the house.
Yep, someone said that book's on Amazon for $3.50. Yeah, don't be robbed by people who ask ridiculous money thinking that something can't be got. Somewhere there is an ebook. I must find who had it. Shona Faye Rankin, I can take her. Nah, it's good. I can ring Faye if we need to, but Faye will jump on when she's ready, and we'll find out from Faye what they are.
So this is the Marble T Plus. Now, this is the guy who's hatched out, and he's really, really cool. Marble T Plus clutch.
This is the next clutch, the double head.
Yeah, he's really like. Let me move that cursor off the screen so it doesn't have drag to move it and everything.
So we're going on to double head Marble T Plus to double head Marble T Plus.
So this guy's not a T Plus. He's not a marble.
He's a children's granite looking thing.
Yeah, it's very, very lightly coloured. And I did actually notice he's got a little dark patch, a couple of dark patches down the back as well.
Yep.
So we're talking about, you might be able to see one there.
Yeah, definitely. 3 sections.
Yep. There's a couple of little, so this guy's hatched out. So we were talking yesterday about the mosaic type things. Now, none of these are related in any way, shape or form to, I actually produce these myself, these double heads. So, and this guy patched, locked out, and if I can just get him to flip around here a little bit.
Be nice to it, mate. Stop bashing it up.
See the little dark patch there?
Yeah. This has nothing to do with your dark line of that other stimmy stuff you were doing either? No. So it's dark right through the belly as well.
Yeah, little dark blotches here and there. So yeah.
Different for children's. You see there's a lot of that children's granity looking stuff. It seems to be an odd one. A few people I've spoken to about that children's granite said it's just a random thing. It's almost like a dominant gene that just pops up. It doesn't need a parent, both parents. It just comes occasionally, and it's just like a Bell's lacing, you know. If there's one there, it'll make more. If there's none there, it won't happen.
Yeah. So I'm just going to empty this tub, just getting so much water out. So people say about water, I can't see, but that's, you can see the little, that's all the water I put in there. Just look at that, it's not even in the corner. It doesn't even quite fill the entire
when you've got the mesh over the top of that with the egg sitting above that, yeah?
Yep, just enough. Like you don't need
don't sit your eggs in the water.
No, not in the water, obviously. The couple little rings I pulled out in the
suspended over.
Yep, they're suspended over top. So the little buddy. We'll chuck you back in here, and you can wiggle yourself around.
He's out of there, mate. He doesn't want to be on live.
He's like, I'm free. You can go with my other little collection of patches.
Patchy patch, Katie Gordon. Afternoon, evening, Katie.
I've got a very
jump sides if Daz keeps making these nice things.
Yeah. Well, my other
Daz has made plenty of chicks change teams before.
That's true. I've rocked up. There's at least 2 that I know
of. Yeah, you turn them back, I'm sure.
So I'll just quickly.
I know you spent a fair bit of time over in Asia as well. It kind of scares me which way you're turning them.
I have a wife with me, so I kept me out of trouble from what I can remember anyway.
They made a movie about that.
Nobody ever found my mobile phone.
Jared Sharp, g'day, mate.
Hey, Jared.
A little late. Was you late, mate, Sharpie?
Oh.
Out there, bloody feeding kids and doing things like a normal parent.
His mum never gave him permission.
No. Probably still grounded.
Yeah. He's in trouble. Beck's like, no, you're not going there.
I reckon Beck could smash him too.
Oh, absolutely.
Sharp would have no hope.
I reckon that's why Jared's scared to do anything.
Beck said no.
Yeah.
She will kill you.
I was coming, but the boss said, "It's all right, mate. We all have those days."
Yeah, I know. My wife beat me once. She sent me to hospital.
Yeah.
Beat me with a water bottle of all things.
And then the hospital said, "Do you want to put in a complaint?" And you said, "No, I enjoyed it."
Anyway,
just patch me up for round 2.
Just threw it at me. It was all good.
These guys do not want to come off this. You see, this one is developed around a shitty one in the middle. That's the one that's hatched here. And we've got a there you can see all this stuff coming off the one egg that's just rotted in the middle of all these. And have a look at the colour of these eggs, will you? All from around.
From just dust coming off them from the mouldy one.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Just tore that egg open. Doesn't matter. It's about to come out anyway. Yeah.
Donna Bennett. Hello, Donna. Always a good supporter, good sharer. Cassidy Marshall, evening.
Go into the rubbish binny and I'll clean that garbage off my filthy hands. And then we'll be on go.
Knee redone and ACL done today. Man of many operations, Mr. Sharpie. The surgeon must be sick of the sight of your knee.
Oh, not Sharpie again.
What a bloody nightmare that's been.
I reckon. It's been going on for a while now, isn't it?
Bloody 2 years nearly, I think. Poor fella. It can't be nice.
Nope.
I get the shits if I can't move for half an hour with a sore back. Never mind being in a leg brace for bloody ever.
Well, no. Bad enough when my arthritis flares up. I spend 12 months on crutches. That sucks. So, you know. It's not pleasant, that's for sure. All right. So this is a marble double het marble T plus clutch. So
we should see marbles, T pluses, wild types, maybe a tarball.
Yeah, let's hope.
Beck's going to be pulling her first clutches over the next few days. Look out. That's going to be exciting.
Wow.
It's not that scary, Beck. You'll be right. I find most girls don't actually bite getting eggs off them. They put up a bit of a show. But
I thought you were talking about Beck then.
No, the snakes generally just hiss and carry on like they're going to kill you, but they're just protecting. Oh, that almost looks like we got a platinum Mac.
Does, doesn't it? Not very light like the other one.
Light wildy.
Oh, I'll have to look at the parents on these to see who was mum and dad, because I've got a few. There's like
fairly broken up pattern too.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there's 11 of them up there.
Yeah. That all?
That's all. Yeah, I don't know. Being a hoarder, I just kept the whole clutch.
Excellent.
This is like, I don't know, good. 3rd year breeding or something or other, I think, or something. I can't remember. Oh, I like the look of what I might see in here.
Something a little lighter.
Something in this one.
It's table, mate, for sure.
Just call it.
Just call it now. Haven't even seen it. Oh, yes. It's a light one.
It's a light one. There's a little head coming out.
Hello. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Afternoon. Evening.
Hello.
Look at those eyes. It's a black-eyed monster.
Oh, it's Pepper.
Got a red pupil. Can you see?
You gotta be joking, haven't you? Can I see with these goggles? No, I can't.
You can barely see your thumb.
No,
it's a light. It's good. Well, it's definitely a marble for starters.
That it is. I'm not sure which way to go. But it's very light on the head.
Yes. Very little. Very reduced, very light all the way up.
So I don't know if we can... Yeah, I'm trying to camera back over there.
Yeah, hold her there. It looks all black in the eye to me, but...
We shall see. Maybe
cool.
So
cool when it's out and about.
I'll put the white one there. This one's having a wriggle around in here. I'll give this one a snip. See what we got.
So we got one marble, one wildie.
Yep. I like how light they are. Oh, this is interesting. Talk about this. How much darker that is compared to the other one. I don't think that other one's not T plus. Like,
no, it's definitely a different colour, but just a very lighter wildie.
That is what I would normally expect out of the egg.
Yeah, and a thick, heavy pattern set on that as well.
Like when you compare it to this guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Him off. 3 grand. This one.
Yep. Granite platinums. But
Platinum.
yeah,
it's
lighter and it's more broken up. That other one, it's
a splabble. It's a splabble.
Extreme level variation.
Yeah. What else has got a head out? There we go. So we'll put this one.
Two wildies. Back to the see some T plus or some marbles, mate.
Yeah, I haven't got
Have a
any
go.
T plus. Have a go, you mate.
Do your job. Looks dark. Come on, Darren.
I did well on the last clutch.
Yeah. I can't miss.
I'm rolling out the wildies. Here we go.
Wildy.
Back to reality.
Half of this clutch should be wildies by the odd gods. So it's going to happen with double head to double head.
There goes Daz on his wild patrol.
Wild Whitaker's back.
Tell you what, the other clutch was terrible too. We're on the rollie with the wildies. Hold on. Really confusing me why those two that are quite light are.
Yep. Pretty typical wildie.
Yeah.
It's making that first one stand out as something
Certainly
something
is.
oddball.
He's got a hole in the egg.
6 to go.
T plus would be good. Need a few T pluses.
Yeah. It's the missing gene so far. Wildie.
Oh, that's very tiny, that one. That's really tiny. It's a small. Oh. Look.
It's alive and well.
Yeah.
Just a little wee one.
Yeah. Pattern's very condensed too, but it could be just because he's a bit smaller.
He'll be fun to get feeding. Got any half-hour-old pinky mice?
Yes. I hope so.
Or you'll be cutting tails off bloody hopper rats.
Or not. It's going to eat like a champion straight off the bat.
Yeah, straight onto velvet rats.
Oh,
hey,
that looks pretty plussy.
Here we go. Something
maybe
brighter. Not quite T plus.
No, it's very. Jeez. It's T plus. Like T plus had the caramel
different
ice.
Shade. Yeah.
Looking very good, this one. Thinking he wasn't quite kicking along.
He's a bit tangled up, is he?
Oh, he's not. He's a dead one. Yeah.
He's a non-goer.
Non-goer. Yep.
That's why he's not coloured up, and it's probably just a wildie that failed in pigment development late.
Yep, unfortunately. What it would do.
Very late because he's got the colour and pattern almost there. So
yeah, it's very, very thin. Yeah.
Almost made it, poor fella.
Yep. Just looking over either. I'll move him in a sec.
One down.
Oh, well, that's the way it goes. That happens. None of these have picked their eggs, so you never know what you might get.
Yep, that's reptiles.
Yep.
You need yourself a lace monitor.
Do you think of the food I could have fed them?
Waste not, want not. Marble.
Yep. Very wet egg. It's almost like these guys have got.
That looks tiny too.
Yeah, it does. Very small.
Had it stopped growing? Donna says cute when they're little. They're cute if they're alive. They are cute when they're little, though. They're so tiny. Like Darren said, the show the other night, you forget just how small ants are when they hatch until the next season. And you go, oh my God, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah, I know. Plus when they're big, strong, robust things.
Yep. Katie says the smallest children I've ever hatched have been 3 grams, fed them on parts of rat tails. Yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. Got to shove them in the right way, though, the old tail.
Yeah, well, Wildy in that one.
Wildy and moving?
Yep, Wildy and moving. No. See, now I'll pull it up there. It's a little bit closer. So you've like, you know, little gentle touch and it's moving along. Come out soon.
What we got? 2 left?
2 left. Wow.
Where's the T plus, mate?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
I've had no luck with T plus. I had the same.
Chapman. G'day, mate. How are you? You just don't seem to land many T plus in these double.
Yeah, it's another light coloured one. Yeah, wiggling along.
A Wildy though.
Yeah.
Light but wild.
Yeah, they're light. Like, it's kind of weird. You got these real dark ones and these really light ones.
Yeah. Nod. G'day, Chris Fry. Evening, lads.
Chris.
Evening, Mr. Fry.
How are you, mate? Another light colour one. You would think normally you would be called, this would be your caramel type, but they just do
not quite there for 2 plus looking in. Even children's 2 plus that's not super albino-ish looking. It's caramelish albino.
Very light though. It'd be interesting to see these when they're probably out of the egg.
Yeah. Only what, 1 marble? 1 light one?
Yeah, one or 2 whiteys. That one, this one over here.
Oh yeah,
still kicking along. That one's just peeking his head out through there. Look.
Yep.
So yeah, not like they get my face open up here somewhere or other. This guy was trying to eat me last night, no. Not like in terms of proper caramel.
Yes.
T plus.
He's a T plus I prepared earlier.
Yeah. Very hungry T plus too.
Yes, eat Darren. Much difference in colour though to the wild type you can see.
And the eyes normally give it away. Now we can settle down a little bit, doesn't need anything. Oh, I just killed my phone. I just killed my phone. The snake went up on top and killed the phone.
Snake grabbed it and see ya. Just taking the phone and leave it.
Hang on.
Lucky you'd finished cutting the eggs then, eh?
I can always put it back, but yeah, I was just going to show you like his eyes, but anyway, you can see his caramel, which is not like those other ones. But no, I'm not food. Oh, that was close. That little tense up and then their head comes over.
Yeah, let's test this out. This could be edible.
Let's test the theory of that. He needs to clean too. He shed and made a mess. Oh well, there we go. Well, that one wasn't as good as the first one, was it?
The Platinum certainly put on a good show. That was nice, but yeah, not the greatest odds on the second clutch there, but that can happen. You don't always get every genie in every clutch with double hits.
No. But But it'll be interesting to see these. Maybe, I think from memory, I actually hatched some of these out a couple of years back, and I questioned there was a light one like that, which actually did eventually turn in. Well, it is a T+. It was light coloured, but just in the egg, it just kind of didn't quite look it. So wait, see what happens when it pops out.
Yep.
It was actually the one I sent you the photo of that Cherie's friend was after a T+ or something like that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, definitely T+.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's variation in stuff. You get on stuff with heavier pattern, and it makes them look a bit darker when they're packing deeper, thicker saddles.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's cool.
Donna Bennett, my platinum spotted Jasper. He was 3 years old this month. He's about 1.2 meters in length. Is he fully grown? I would say yes.
Pretty decent size.
1.2 is pretty good, and that's pretty normal for spotteds. They're probably one of the larger of the Antaresia family. 1.2 is up there. I've seen them bigger. I've seen some people feed them into absolute beasts.
Shane Scarf had one that weighed 2 kilos many years ago.
Wow, that's big.
So double your, 1.2 kilo one. It was a monster.
Yep. Yeah, she's saying 1.2 meters in length, but like that's a good size.
1.2 meters in length.
Good size.
Yeah, might be up there.
Yeah, definitely. But 1.2 is pretty normal. Most children's stuff a meter is about normal. Spotters do get a little bit larger, and they're certainly more food aggressive. I find adults will take small rats before season without too much issue.
Yep. Well, my adult blondes, not the younger ones, the adult ones, they'll devour a medium rat without thinking twice.
Sienna's going to be grounded.
Oh, God.
Hi, Sienna.
Hey, Princess. She was at her school performance today. I don't know what time is it. 9. She must be finished home. So I had to go up there to the school, watch her couple of dances.
Take a little car out.
Yeah, no, that's next week. Tonight she was doing in her dance group. They had a special school night on tonight. So and all the art kids there had all the artworks on display, and the dance groups and the bands and all that were playing tonight. So that went till it was penciled in to go like something like 8:45 or something or other. So I went there, and luckily she was on early in the first session, so we got to 7 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, gotta go.
In and done. Yep. Now the street lights are home. On. So
street lights are home.
Street lights are home. So get home.
Yeah, I brought them home. Yeah. Yeah. Move me little.
It's on the saying.
Move me little Komodo dragons.
Should I feed him bigger than a weaned rat now? Probably not, Donna. It's now a balancing act. By the time they're adults, it's more of a case of maintaining their body shape. You don't want them round and bloaty. A weaned rat every fortnight probably going to be fine.
Yeah, when I say mine will eat medium rats, it doesn't mean I'm feeding them medium rats all the time. I will feed the girl a few because she's quite a big girl. If she lays a clutch, then I'll give her a few medium rats. But most of the time, they vary between weaners and smalls, and the males, might get weaners, they might get hoppers, they might get adult mice. I'll eat anything, and as Brent was just saying, it's just to balance their weight and keep their weight happy. Obviously, if the girls lay the clutch, I want to put a bit more weight and condition on them. So,
Yep. Just keep them. Depends what you're doing. You're going into season. Obviously, girls, you want to fatten up a bit. Keep a bit more on them. But if they're not for breeding purposes, then you just got to maintain that healthy weight and vary the food to suit smaller size feeds or longer gaps if they're looking a bit fatty, and some bigger meals if they're looking a bit thin. But certainly, 2 to 3 weeks, no issue at all for adult things 2 to 3 years old. Yeah,
that's it. Keep the girls. I always prefer to keep my girls a little bit more chunky for obvious reasons. But the girls I'm going to breed, if I'm not breeding them, then I don't keep them big. But if I want clutches, then you got to feed your girls. I see. Good evening, Brent, and who's that fat bloke with you? Jeez, I did not see that one. Wow, I just read the comment underneath. There's going to be that's it.
I love you, Dad. Was the next one? Come on.
Yeah, that's right. I know. They want to go in the HG for their dinner, and she told me that they're calling the car Cara Del Rey because that's what they're going to play in the car. That just changed to Slayer. So I'm going to put my little boom boxes in there, and we're going to have Slayer at full noise. Yep, in the big power beast 6-cylinder.
Mate, I doubt you have any power whatsoever over your daughter for what she chooses for things to happen. So good luck with that.
Let me talk it up tough while she's not here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, she's probably gone to bed now. She'd be bored. Too much other things to do.
Yeah. She probably looked at the wrong one. Fat bloke.
Wrong bloke.
Wow, that's it. No more chocolate for you, little princess.
Nah.
I'm going to eat it more. Ready? All right, so where are we up to? Sort of feeding bigger, yes, every fortnight.
Mitch D, how late am I? You are like just snuck in the back door because we are going.
Yeah.
We started. Go to a replay and see Daz pull some awesome platinums anyway, and then back to Wildy Whittaker.
That's right. Keep on rolling. Well, someone's got to stick up for the Wildy types, don't they?
They do. Do that last one from David question, and we'll be done because my phone's exploding with messages today for some reason, so I'll have work to do still. Guys have any maternal incubation issue?
No.
Darwin girl at day 40. No, it stresses me out too much. I've done it before. I will do it again. I think if you set them up right, Birchie's doing a great job of it. I see
definitely
in the effort and making conditions right. I didn't have a good setup when I did it Darwin's long time ago.
Yep.
Talk about stress. I was like day 70, and not out, and I am shitting myself. Like, it's very stressful. If temps are low, if they can't get enough heat to them, that's definitely going to take longer.
Mm-hmm.
So set up right, definitely, mate. Maternal's the way to go, and everyone who does it regularly tells me that the hatchies seem stronger, better feeding response. There's got to be some advantage to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the main reason we take these off and incubate them is to allow the female to get rested and get more food back on them. So you have that added 2 months, or in Brent's case, over 2 months with 70 days of added feeding. So you're, not quite pushing that girl. And it's probably not a bad thing if you've got enough girls that you could probably, breed this year and rest for a season and just take that little bit longer time and just feed back up and recondition and breed something else in the meantime. But if you're breeding some girls back to back every season, then that 2 months, allows them to lay their eggs, remove them. She settles down. A few days later, they're back on the feed and allows you to get that condition back on them so that when they do produce a clutch, they're not, burning off all that excess energy they've stored. You do that 2 seasons in a row and not get enough food into them, they really lose condition. They really struggle.
Yep.
And they'll actually stop breeding for a season if they don't have enough condition.
Yeah.
So
definitely we think we're good, taking the eggs and giving them, I guess, what we believe is the most perfect conditions for incubation. It's very stable temperature, 31.5 or whatever you're cooking at, and extreme high level humidity. We give them every best chance we can, trying to get them, to hatch perfectly. But sometimes nature's nature, and it does not happen.
Yep. What we got here, Katie? What's coming up to snip? Excited for everything. What do you? What do you got to snip, Brent?
Triple heads. Let's go. Hurry up. It's the first triple head clutch any day, really. They're due on the 7th. Well, the 7th will be 60 days. They'll come early. I made sure of it. So I'd say by the 2nd or 3rd, we'll have the first of the triple head granite xanthic albino clutches.
They will be very exciting. More exciting because you've got them and I don't.
Yes, I do. All of them.
It'll just be it will just be wild type fest here.
There will be a lot. That's what's going to be frustrating for me because we're back to
love it.
They're back to ridiculous chasing odds, with Triple Gene, and Caramel and Jaguar thrown in there just for more fun. So there'll be variety, but there's going to be a lot of wild types, which is how it's going to roll.
Yeah. What do you got? Just the 3 genes is 1 in 64, so fun times. Just your 3 recessive, that is. Yep. It's going to be an exciting class. I'm not sure what I've got coming up. I actually have to have a look. I kind of raced in and grabbed stuff and was running around trying to get things sorted for tonight. I was just actually looking at my page thinking, what clutches are there? I know there's a couple more double-het pepper albino clutches. I know I've got a pure het xanthic coastal clutch coming. Some more double-het T+ marble clutches. There's remnants of a really bad Moonglow clutch in the incubator.
No way. Not a bad Moonglow clutch from Darren Whittaker.
Well, the first one's all been really good, and I never actually fed her up with everything that was going on earlier on in the year. So I didn't actually expect her to breed, and she did. And of course, just talking about low condition, because she hadn't had the food put into her, I thought, I'll put in, I always think if they go, they go, they don't, they don't. And she laid a few slugs and, a very small kind of viable clutch. So you'll see how that goes. I know there's a big clutch that's still cooking along, which will be a fun one to catch. That's the Caramel double het pepper xanthic clutch. So hopefully for some more, and for some ghosty peppers in that one. So that was what I was going to say about the patches. One of that one, my favourite patch is actually I don't know if you remember the ghost pepper I hatched.
With the black spot down its back. Yep.
Yes, he's coming on quite nicely, getting some size.
He'd be a couple of years old now, wouldn't
it? He would be coming up to 2 years of age now.
That'd be interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
Hopefully you might get some work done this coming season. So they're not
very nice.
Not quite as big as what I would like because, I spent probably 6 months of not actually feeding much during mum and dad and all that sort of stuff. So I lost a lot of food, but he's well and truly on the pump now. And they are slow feeders, actually, to be honest. Now that I remember, they're really hard to get going.
Yeah.
But now they're feeding. They're on there. Well, they should be eating. They should be taking weaner rats. So they're not massive, but there's plenty of time. I get up to size. So it's a couple there. Yeah. So but anyway, I can't remember what else there is coming. Some more albino stuff, I think. Some stripy stuff. There's probably another 15 clutches or something.
Cool stripes.
Yeah. Yeah, you like those, didn't you? Yeah, they're not.
I do like those. They are pretty cool.
Yes.
I may pay you a visit shortly.
Well, lock and key. Alarm system will be on. The cameras will be switched on. No one's home.
Don't worry. Sienna will let me in.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Yeah. Actually, Mitch D's got an interesting point there. We'll do that last one because I'd really need to go.
Which one was it? This one?
Healthy female. Less risk of a virus. Has slipped past your quarantine. Nothing slips past tested quarantine, but say it did. I get what you're saying, to avoid passing straight to the hatchie when it hatches out onto the mother. So, if you're maternally incubating, you've always got that risk. If the mother has got some issue, it will be in contact with the hatchies once they come out. Whereas if you take those eggs, there's overseas in Germany, they talk a lot about you can breed out some of this, Nido and Sunshine and Bornavirus. They're saying any of the hatchies seem to die in the egg, but they are finding traces of the positive virus on the surface of the eggs that were laid. So, hatchies out are good, but I guess if you've got the mother in there, that's a whole other story.
Well, we had any, I don't know, I guess you call it an eye-opening thought process. Was chatting about this at work the other day.
Yep.
And if you look at when we had Dr. Michelle Daly on from North Richmond Vets, who's a well-renowned reptile vet, Stu was saying, and it's obviously documented, that most viruses don't survive long outside of a host. Yep. So we know in the past, Robert Johnson's done tests where they've detected the virus on eggs, but it hasn't passed through the hatchies when they've been born. Going to that process that Michelle says, and that the virus doesn't last long outside of a host, if the eggs are actually, let's say, contaminated with the virus, does the virus die? Because it's on the outside of an egg, it's not actually in the egg. So over the course of
days, it's
60 days of host theoretical.
Maybe it's just the testing will show it that there's remnants of that there. But
was the testing? Obviously, Robert's retired now, but the testing Robert done was that I've had a clutch lay, bring it up, we'll test it. Oh yes, it's positive, and therefore we know that the virus is on the eggs. But then it sat there for 55 days. Was there testing towards the end of that? I don't think so. I'd imagine the testing was done at the egg deposition point rather than the innate hatching point.
Yeah.
So it's something I've been meaning. I've got to ring Michelle. So it's something I'll want to actually chat with her about it, because that would, if that was the case, going back to Mitch's comment there, if you said something slipped your quarantine, you had a virus and it had a clutch, and you can say, rightio, she needs to be euthanized, or she's got a virus, I'll get the clutch, take that off, incubate the clutch, euthanize the female, because that's really the best thing you can do. You can't treat it, and she's just going to suffer from that point on, unless she happens to be just a carrier and not showing symptoms. But you could then virtually future-proof yourself. You could incubate those eggs, knowing that virus will die off during that incubation period.
Yeah.
And then hatch out in basically virus-free. So it was just something we kind of thought about and said, well, theoretically, it could be a reality.
Interesting testing. Yeah. Like Mitch is saying, tests on the surface. Yeah. Sharpie says the same. Test shows the virus, not if it's alive or dead, but it'd be interesting to test some of that things, the dead animals, were they positive? I think that talk we went to with Shane Simpson, I think he did some testing and said the animals actually inside the eggs that were dead did test positive. The actual, it wasn't just the egg surface. So is nature trying to kill out the virus through reproduction, or whether it's going to be on the surface and can pass to other animals. No, that's an interesting one, but definitely if the mother's there and she's bubbling or drooling or something, or crawling through poo of hers or something, sure you're going to
spread it.
Problems. Mucus and poop is where it's going to roll from.
Yeah, I mean, well, I suppose it's the rain, but yeah. What's he saying? It's also very easy to get negative test result when the virus isn't shedding. So animal slip-through testing is a very real thing. Yeah, of course. Yep.
They recommend several, and my guy is saying Sunshine's test, he reckons 99. Well, and that Shane Simpson said the same thing. He reckons Sunshine you can pretty much get in 1, 2 to be sure, but he was saying 2 to 3, and over different times of the year. At summertime and one in winter when they're under the most stress. Yeah, colder. So certainly Shane reckons 2 to 3 to be sure. But even then, he never said 100%. He always said 99% one test, not shedding the virus still can be false negative. 2 tests can be 99.9%. It's not 100%, it's none of them will put their absolute rubber stamp on and say if you do 3 tests, you're 100%, because they can't guarantee that. It's time. Yeah.
It is unfortunate. It's the way it is. It's very hard, in these days, and you got to be so careful. I'm lucky. I guess Brent and I are lucky that between the two of us, we've pretty much got shut down collections now. We kind of got everything between the two of us we need. So, play it safe, never trust. And the more you buy and sell, the more chance of, and the people I could name that have had entire collections wipe out.
Flipping stuff never ends.
Buy it, It's a bit scary. Then he sort of talked. Kelly was real open. Yeah, it was definitely good.
Yeah, we've seen a couple. Has he been back again recently?
I think he did one long ago. I think we were going to go, but we couldn't make it because it was a couple of years back for the last one that we went to.
And the one before that, I think, was years.
We did, yeah.
Before that one too. Like
we did a couple.
Same.
Yeah.
He always does a good talk too, Shane. He's a good entertainer.
Yeah. So goes saying doing it with beardy eggs. Adult was adenovirus positive. So they were dipping the egg in F10. They were saying it killed it. Who was saying it killed it? The vet was? Because that would mean testing prior and testing after for adenovirus. So there'd be a lot of work in doing that. And not only that, you also need obviously a contact time. And that would also mean that F10 would actually kill adenovirus,
which it should.
Well, kills a lot of stuff, given the correct dosage and contact time.
Yeah, I don't know, but I would say it would kill it. I don't think there's many viruses in the world that F10 doesn't kill, given the correct mix and contact time.
We'll
see. We'll see. It's something we'll have to get some more advice from people who study this stuff more than what we do. But
goes through the egg. Well, there you go. Hatch it, not catch it when they hatch. Yeah, so they're born with it. Yeah, interesting topics. We'll probably need to. I don't know. Probably try and get Michelle back again soon. And once we're trying to get through the egg stuff, I know we talked about it last year, but we're definitely going to have to.
It's so slow to update that stuff. Shane said the same thing. He said, nothing's changed much. We sort of talked 5 years ago with his stuff, and talk 2 years later. It's much the same talk because there's just not the funding to change the world in that front. No one's going to go out and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, hoping to prove something, because they ain't going to prove shit. And there's not going to be a cure. So there's no money institutional-wise to invest in something to get results for it. So
I remember talking to Robert Johnson, probably 10 plus years ago, and you were saying it was a very similar scenario with cats. Cats a long time ago were the same. And then as they became a more common, more popular pet, the demand for the treatment of viruses and diseases and whatever else cats get, which I have no idea, but he said the more and more demand, the more people got interested in trying to find cures, because there was a monetary value. Then suddenly, cat's got this. Oh yes, here's an injection, because there's so much money. More people have the animals, the more chance of seeing something to rectify it. But it'll take a long time before we see that in reptiles, I think, especially out here.
Definitely, yeah. Small market down under. So if the states can't get it done, we got Buckley's over here with our tiny little population.
Yeah, this is right. 100%. Whole extra episode.
Yeah.
Well, we did one a while ago with Michelle. I have to have a look and see how long ago that was. She's always good for a laugh in the chat, Michelle. She certainly knows the stuff. She keeps up to date with all that sort of thing. And I'll have to wait until she's off maternity leave with the new edition.
Yep.
So,
human hatchie.
Yeah. Anyway, it's getting late, so we have to work tomorrow. The boss won't give me a day off, so I have to get up early.
Like you do anything while you're there, but anyway.
Yeah, I turn up, make the place look good.
Bring some cookies in the morning, will you?
Yeah. Corey Farr, you only get a virus scare once. Mate, I don't even want once. I haven't had it, and I don't want it. And it's a very, very scary thought to have, like I have a large collection. Same with you, Brent, like to think of getting something in and, next minute seeing snake after snake getting sick and dying, like just as a, you hear the stories of, I had 40 or 50 snakes and, next minute 30 are dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
we've seen the heartbreak over years, people that we know that have had beautiful animals and collections and projects and things that have disappeared. It's very sad and it's very stressful. People get to the point they realize they can't test to try and isolate. I won't name names, but there was a girl who had some absolutely beautiful animals, that are gone now. And she just, she basically said, I can't isolate all this and test it all to work it out. I'm just going to have to put them all down, like it's very sad, and it's very heartbreaking for those people who have those animals. That realization that they're all gone. It's
100%.
bloody tough. So.
Yep. From Kurt from Aggressive Pythons Australia, it needs to be eradicated. But if people knowingly sell positive animals and leave the hobby, it spreads to multiple collections, and that's 100%, mate. Unfortunately,
shot in the dick.
Whenever there's a dollar value attached, that's all they see. Oh, I'll get out of it quick. I'll sell my entire collection to someone for lots of money, and it's not the right thing to do, unfortunately, though. But people just go dollar, sell, get out of it before it's a problem. But the buyer also has a responsibility. If you go buy a snake off someone's collection and there's one there that's dribbling and snotting and everything else, walk away, burn your clothes, have a shower, stay away from your collection for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Everyone's responsible for protecting their own collection. You've got to quarantine. You've got to test your own stuff. It's as simple. But I get it with people with small collections. I know one of the girls at Hawkesbury Herbs was telling me she 10 snakes, not high risk, not that any snake's more valuable in what they are. They're all life, like whatever snakes they are. But, she buys one snake from one guy and wipes out a whole collection, It's, it's going to happen. It's the bigger collection you've got, I guess you've got more to risk. So you take more care. You do whatever you have to do to protect that. And once you've gone so far with testing and quarantining, you can't go back. You've got hundreds of animals now. No one animal is worth risking all of that on.
That's it.
It's scary. And a few people, I've questioned a guy a long time about it. And the reasons people give for selling animals there that are questionable is unbelievable. I've got to get back money I've invested into these things, so I have to sell them. And I'm just like, mate, do you imagine how devastated you were when it popped up in your collection and you're happy to sell that to someone else, knowing that's where that's going on another scale, But it's multiplicative, though. Scum sometimes.
That person buys it, brings in their collection, and infects 10 pythons. Yeah. Right? And then they go, oh, I've got something wrong. I'll sell everything. So they've taken on one snake that's wrecked their collection. They've now gone out and multiplied that and sold it to 10 other people and just
10 more potentially destroyed the ride.
10 other people on the ride. It's like, I've spoken to my wife about it several times. I thought, what would you do? And I said, I'd probably freeze everything.
You'd burn your house down.
I would just... like what do you do? You hear of it going through collections and people hanging on and, just if I breed this and I get that clutch and, there's so much out there. It's ridiculous.
It is. And Corey Fastest, when you're new to the hobby, education isn't there. That's true, mate. And everyone starts out.
Yes.
And the problem is it's such an addictive game. So many you see come in guns blazing. I want one snake or I want 10 snakes. I need this, I need this, I need this. And so many of them fall flat on their face because they don't know. There's no education. There's no warning stickers on it. Yep. And they run into something and then, what's this? I've tested it and it's come back. It's Borna, it's Sunshine, it's Nighter, whatever. And then suddenly, got to test this, and then they're out of there, this is too hard. I'm gone, It's very sad, but it's, I think we're a long way from getting rid of it. The states have $20 testing or something. You can swab your own animals, mouth and cloaca, and send tests away to get it done, and they can't even get rid of it. You can test for $20. I don't know. We're paying way too much money down here in Australia for testing, which is for guys like us, not a problem. You're going to do it. You have to do it. You're in too far. But for the guy who's got 4 or 5 snakes and they bought, a $250 T plus children's, they're not going to spend $800 to test that animal to be sure it's good for their small collection. It's just not.
Yep.
The reality of it is it's not viable to do that. But so sadly, yes, it's going to be a tough one. But people doing the wrong thing when they find problems is never going to help it.
It's always kind of when people say, "Oh, selling this X amount of dollars." Tested for all viruses. It's like, hang on, it's going to cost you $400 or $500 to test for all viruses, and you're selling for $250. Just freeze the snake and save yourself $250. Put it in your pocket because you're losing money to sell it. Like, it doesn't happen, and never trust it. If you ever read that shit, don't trust it. Take it, quarantine it yourself, test it yourself.
Nobody can test something and then still have it at their premises and sell it as a clean snake. It's impossible. Like, I can't pull this one out and test it and feed and clean all of these and say, oh, they're tested. That one is fine. Like, you got no hope of ever isolating an animal. You need to quarantine and test it yourself. It's a whole different ball game.
Tyler Copley, hey buddy, how you going?
Tyler, how are you, mate?
Scammer. I'm not sure. I don't know about that Tyler Blake. He's swatting them snakes.
Upset.
He's a good bloke.
You down on your perch, you Jew-bag piece of shit. But, anyway.
That's all right. He's a good bloke. Yeah, and I mean, I only buy from one guy for the last couple of years just in case. Yeah, it's a safe bet, but, if you see people buying and selling constantly, got this, got that, aside from hatchies that they've bred, I'd be skeptical. They're selling adults all the time.
Absolutely. If things look too good to be true, they often are. When you see adult animals getting sold at bullshit cheap prices, have a think about it. Sometimes there's a good reason. And be cautious.
And how many stories have we heard, Brent, where I picked up this because it was really cheap. Yeah, and it's turned into suddenly it's got an RI.
Cheap after all. And it's not to say big breeders are always going to be perfect or small breeders are always going to be bad. It doesn't matter where the snake comes. It's your responsibility to quarantine and test it. But sometimes the writing's on the wall. I look at ads on Reptile Classifieds and just go, can someone block this ad from even being on? Adult animal, it's a jungle this. It's not a jungle. Here's the front of the glass with smears all over it. And he just like, fuck, who looks at this ad and goes, oh, $200 diamond.
Yeah, what a bargain.
On it, like, let's go. And it's like, come on, but people do. People get sucked in. They're new. They don't know. They go, oh, I just want another animal. I just want a female that's an adult so I can just breed something. And that's where it all begins, That's where it all ends.
Yep, better off, recommendations, finding people, it's good to look for stuff, but ask people, ask anyone I've sold a snake to, ask anyone that Brent sold a snake to, do that as your research as well,
Yeah.
So where we get to?
Toby, how much is it to test here? Mate, every vet is different, but it used to be like $150 because it used to be just, a sunshine virus test, and then it became sunshine. They had a nido to it, so it became, $225, $250 because it's just they can actually use the same swab to test both from two separate PC tests at the other end, and then came Borna, and then they got Microplasma. So now basically it's $450 for your first round of testing, which they'll test for all four straight up. And then you've got to go back 3 months later or 4 months, different season to get a second test done for your Nido and Borna. You can dead set spend $800 to $1,000 to properly test an animal 2 to 3 times over a 6-month period now, which I think's bloody excessive. It's what it is, it's what it costs, but
you imagine even if you had to pay all four and you had to pay $80. Going back to $20 to test for virus. You imagine if you could pay $80 to test all 4 viruses, there wouldn't be. You'd be out buying snakes, and you wouldn't even think about it.
Yep. And the most frustrating part, 10 years ago, they used to do batch testing where you could say if you bought 6 of these super platinums from Darren Whitaker, and you thought, oh, I'm going to go and get these tested. They would take one swab and swab all 6 of those animals, mouth, cloaca, whole lot. So you'd get one swab in a tube and you'd pay for one test. It's a batch test, they'd call it. So you paid you once $150, whatever it was.
Yep.
And you got a negative or positive for that's the group, obviously. If you get a positive, obviously you don't know in that 6 what's good or bad. They could be good, they could be bad, they could all be good. Oh, sorry, they can't all be good. They could all be bad. You don't know. But then you've got to go back in individual. And then the testing guys said, no, we're not doing batch testing anymore. We're, skewing our results. So we want to, get more data and work out what animals it is and blah, blah, blah. We want more money. That's what it came down to. So now it's single testing for everything and a lot more money. You know, like it's a lot of money, but just ask anyone who's lost a collection or, you know, of any size, 3 or 4 snakes, devastating, pets lost, you know, 10, 20 snakes, thousands of dollars, 50, 100 snakes, no, bullshit money. You know, that's when you got too much on the line.
Yep. I mean, like you, Brent, you know, I don't ever look at my collection as a dollar value. I just look at the animals, I breed from them, do whatever, and, you know, you sell some, you make some dollars, you spend a fortune in rats like I've done in the last couple of days, like almost $5,000 in rats. You know, but obviously you must be making billions of dollars. You know, like they don't see the rat mouse bills.
Cost, you know, part of cost of goods, and unfortunately, that cost of goods never seems to come at the right time. You know,
no, it doesn't.
Snakes, I need some rats. Cool. It's always haven't started snakes for a while. Oh, I need rats now. You know, like it's a balancing act of cash flow.
But yeah, you know, to think if you lost, you know, just because you were lazy, you're bringing something in, didn't quarantine it right. You know, like we've seen in the past. Oh, I quarantine. Got this animal off him, and 2 weeks later they're mating within their collection.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, okay, so you blab on about your strict quarantine. You've got an animal in from someone else on a breeding loan, and it's in your collection breeding with something else now.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but obviously your quarantine is a complete nutter load of shit.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly
and like Mitch is saying, that cash grab 100%, mate.
Yeah,
it is purely.
You know what? I've seen close to vets and seen what they pay to WA to test it. The vets aren't making the money out of it. Trust me. You know, they've obviously got their consult fee, their time to swab it. It's 10 minutes their time, but 10 minutes of a vet time is going to be $60 or $80 anyway. You know, like the actual testing process to send it over there is where the money's going. You know, it's
a can of worms. This one.
It is. You know? It's a whole nother episode, like we said. Like Matthew saying, you know, got quoted for Nido plus a call out was $3,500. Provided nothing else, it was for 15 snakes. There you go, mate. And that's one round. You can't even, if there was positive and negatives in that, the negatives you'd need to retest again in 3 or 4 months again anyway. You know, so it's tough. I get people just say, sorry, I can't do this anymore, and put them all in the freezer. You know, it's bloody heartbreaking. I've seen people with it.
Yeah, I think you know, it seems to be back 20 years ago, and probably even 15 years ago, when you wanted to buy stuff, everybody bought hatchies. That was just the way it was. You want this, you buy hatchies. You know, rarely would you buy something older. Nowadays, as you know, and I'm sure anybody else that breeds a substantial amount of animals, mate, got any adults?
Of course.
Got any 2-year-olds? I want to breed it now.
Got any adult females?
So, you know, to me, you're already at a higher risk of, you know, introducing a virus of sorts into your collection than you are by buying a hatchie. There's a far...
If you're not quarantining and testing, yes.
Yes, but you're far... Well, if you're buying an adult because you want to breed it, what are you going to do? You're going to get it home. It's going to go straight into the boy, the girl, whatever it is. So there's zero quarantine.
Going in with 3 other girls and, you know...
Yep, and we've heard the story. I'm pretty sure I know exactly who the person was you were mentioning before, and breeding loans.
Yeah, yep. Right. It's always the trap they fall into.
They get, I get a clutch, get this, that, and the other, and fall in the clutch. But generally, you know, like we do egg cutting shows, those hatchies are going to go into a tub, and they're not going to move. All my hatchies are separate to everything else. They'll go in there. They've got their own set of tools, utensils, everything that I feed all the hatchies and do all that with. When you're buying it from someone as a hatchie, there's a far less chance of that snake having a virus. It's not been paired with anything. It's not been through breeding seasons. It's not gone through different, you know, all sorts of other scenarios, and whatever.
It's kept isolated from other animals anyway. Like, obviously, your hatchies are, well, look, my hatchies are all in here. My adults are in another building, you know, like it's, they're isolated by the setup the way it needs to be, but you know, hatchies are a safer option for sure.
In saying that, you've always got to do your due diligence. You know, you always got to make sure you check, isolate the animal. You buy a hatchie, you know, like I have a separate little little area. I used to have a completely separate site where all my animals were, and I used to quarantine everything at home. Now I've got a little setup in the bedroom when I need to. When I buy something, it goes in there, and I just have a little setup. And I don't buy anything other than hatchies. I'd rather have the patience to feed something and grow it up over a couple of years than to rush in and got to have it now, and run the risk of losing, like I fed, I don't know, I didn't even feed all my adults the other day and went through 150 extra large rats, and it didn't even feed every adult. So, that's a lot of risk, just because I've got an adult and want to breed it, put it in with 3 snakes, you don't realise that snake dies. Oh, geez, what happened there? Next minute they die, and before you know it, you've shared your cleaning tools, utensils. Yep, that's it. So
Kurt's saying that's why he has a closed collection and no I sell clean hatchies. It's good for those guys fortunate enough, Kurt, that you've been around a long time, and when you've got closed doors, you're not chasing the newest greatest thing. When you're fortunate enough to have that, that luxury of not needing to buy, it's bloody awesome. But most people aren't that, like it's the fortunate ones. Cool, but everyone else is still buying, selling, swapping, growing, hatching. It's a game, you got to try and build the pieces, and it's bloody hard these days. I'd hate to be starting out these days trying to buy things from 10 different people to get all the genes you want. It's a minefield out there. So it's so blokes like Kurt have been around forever. It's a nicer place to be. Or that Whittaker bloke, been around since the Ark and clean ones off the Ark.
That's our blokes. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So there's a few other comments that are quite interesting, like Richard was saying about adenovirus over in the US and that, and Kylie Southwell. This is you see all the time. Someone trying to sell a sick snake. It had an obvious lump, but the seller found it easier to move on the snake rather than take it to the vet. It's just it's typical. So I don't want to deal with this. I'll just sell it. I'll get some money back. It's someone else's problem, and you potentially that person might have scraped and saved every cent to buy the 10 snakes or 12 snakes they got, and because someone wants, going back to what Mitch said, cash grab. Someone wants a cash grab, and they I'll just dump it, sell it cheap. Someone goes, oh, that's cheap, I'll buy that. They bring in their collection, and suddenly their collection's gone.
It's funny. I mean, people hate paying vet bills. People want to buy animals. They don't want to spend money on vet bills and testing stuff. It's how it is. You can buy more snakes instead of paying for testing, but at some point you've got to protect what you've got. It's like your car. You can't just drive your car forever. It's cool, but you got to service it somewhere. If you don't service it, you're in the shit. Like it's
you got to wash it, you got to polish it, you got to look after it, clean the inside of it out.
Unfortunately, there's costs involved in some things. When you get to a certain point, it's just part of the game. You've got to do it right. You've got to protect what you got. So,
and that's like Kurt saying, Kurt, I would too. But if you're careful, as you say, choice of breeders is much less risk. It is. It's less risk, but the onus always falls on you. You buy a snake, you take it home, you quarantine it, you separate it. If you chose any sign, if it was me and I got something and I went home in the quarantine, I'm like, there's something wrong with that, it'd go in the freezer.
Hell yeah. I quarantined shit for way too long, and even Shane Sims said you don't need to quarantine shit for 2 years. You can't out quarantine a virus, so you've got to test it. You get it in, you test it straight away. If it's straight up positive, see you later. You don't waste any more time. And test it again in 3-4 months. It's out the door sort of thing. But he's saying you don't need to. I'll leave stuff hanging forever. And then if it's past 6 or 12 months of growing, eating, being normal, cool. I'll test it now. Like I almost leave them a long time to prove himself before I even start the testing process. So, but everyone's got to do it. They've got to protect their own. I remember many, many years ago when I got a snake from you, Daz, to come over for a breeding deal. It's like, give it to me in November so I can test it. Before
there was actually a couple, and I knew there was nothing wrong with it, but I was paranoid.
Yeah, well, when someone says they're going to test your shit, everyone's like, "Oh, well, I'm telling people, test my shit, please."
Yeah, I do too. I'm like, you take it home, test it. Yeah, don't question it.
It's a simple case. Some people find it offensive. I thought Daz was going to probably crack the shit. Going, Daz, I'm going to test your snake. He's probably going to tell me to yourself, like I'm not dealing with this, but no, test it. I can't remember what snake it was.
I do.
Something probably.
Silver pepper girl.
Oh, that's right. Yep. And tested positive because I'm putting it with my prize albino boy.
Tested negative, mate. Don't say tested positive.
No. Sorry. Tested negative. Perfectly fine animal. And then, you move on. But I look at it like I have too much to risk in that room to go, I bought one snake in and I burned the room down. Spend
just
$500
because
on testing or lose 50 adults, back then.
Yeah, based on my word that, my collection's good.
Everyone says their collection's good. Yeah. Who's going to come out and say, oh, yeah, mate, do you want to do a breeding loan? I've got an IDO, but, it'll be right. Babies will be fine,
Yeah, just keep the eggs separate.
Yeah. We'll breed it out together.
Yeah. No, I was quite fine. Like, go test it, whatever. In the back of my head.
It's good reinforcement. It's nice. I get a lot of people that I tell that people sometimes say this the right way. People sometimes think if they buy from the big guys, their stuff's going to be fine. We wouldn't have these hundreds of hatchies if we had problems. We'd have dead animals everywhere. Nothing's going to breed with viruses. I still tell people, please test it. Do your own diligence, quarantine it, test it. And I love hearing back from people going, yeah, mate, tested your snakes, come back, it's all good. Excellent. That's just further reinforcement that shit's good,
absolutely. Fine. So the same thing. I'd had to count how many people that have bought a snake from me, and you talk to them, especially when you're at the shows and stuff like that. Yeah, don't trust me, mate. Take it home and test it.
No, test it yourself, mate. Yep.
And test it.
I've had people buy multiple, when people are buying, they're quite often buying, they're buying from Daz, they're buying from me, they're buying from 5 other people, and I tell them, I'll probably sound like a cock, can you put my shit separate and test it separate? Like I want my stuff isolated from everything. So when there's a problem, if there's a problem later on, you have tested each of those lots of things individually. So if something pops up somewhere else, that's cool. Their problem. My shit's good. That's all I want.
Not I bought 10 hatchies from 10 people and now they're all dead. You sent me a virus.
Exactly. I say, well, okay, you bought 10 snakes and you got a virus a year later. Well, where'd it come from? Oh, I don't know. I bought 10 snakes. One of them was bad. A lot of them can be carrying the virus, not showing any symptoms for it, yet wiping out half your collection and still be happily eating away in its tub, So
yeah, 100%.
This show could go forever, mate.
I know. I think it's an interesting topic, and it is one that should be spoken about far more often.
Scary as shit too.
It is.
A lot of people, it's the number one fear that one day, you lose what you've got and all your years of work because it burns down from something. So
and the saddest part, like I can't remember who said it. Lack of education from people coming into the hobby, and they look around going, I want to buy a marble or an albino, this, that, and the other. I want to buy a marble. It's 500. Here's one for 200. That's cheap. I wonder why that's cheap. What a bargain. I'll buy that one. What are you buying? I always maintain, if you've got a car worth $100,000, why are you selling it for 40?
Yeah. Yep.
There must be something wrong with it, because why are you not selling it for 100 if that's what it's worth? So it's the same. If a snake's worth $2,500, why are you selling it for $700?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, to me, I'd just go, there's something got to be wrong there. Like there's no point going, albino. What's an albino granite worth these days, Brent?
$3 or $4 grand, yeah.
Right, so let's say $3,500, split it in the middle for argument's sake. That's $3,500. Why are you selling yours for $1,500?
Yeah, yep.
Something's
wrong.
Here's a nicer. Okay, so why not $3,000?
Yeah,
not $2,500 or $2,000 cheaper.
Yep.
Like,
if you want to sell it quick and it's a $4,000 snake, well, you can sell it quick for $3,000. Your $100,000 car sells fast at 75. Like it's it doesn't need to be 25. Like.
No, that's right. I just be wary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I guess the comments are getting more and more interesting. Almost everyone can close the collection.
I'll start now, but I'm going to bed, so we'll come back to this. And obviously, virus is still a very hot topic, as it should be. I'm glad people are interested and want to talk about it, because the more people talk, the more people are educated, and the people who do know plenty about it often don't talk about it either. So,
100%. The more information that's shared, and the more people that share the information, the better off we all are. But unfortunately, we're never going to fix the problem of people going, "Oh, I've got a virus," or sell everything fire sale.
Yeah, that's just humans. Sadly, there's some shit ones amongst us.
No worries. But anyway, all right. Well, that went from a quick. We'll just do a quick one. Be done in 40 minutes to like almost 2 hours.
9 to now it's 10 o'clock. I can go and pick up my kid from work.
Yeah, go to bed. All right. Well, Brent, if anybody wants to come and find you and talk to you about viruses, where can they find you?
KHP Reptiles, Messenger Brent Smith. People text me too. Like some days like today, I'm just getting absolutely smashed. So just be patient. Most days I'm all over it like a rush. Other days you're going to wait 6 hours to get a reply, because I can look at my phone now and see there is 7, 8, 9 messages and page messages and messenger messages, and I'm probably going to bed. So, I'll get back to them all. Just be patient with us. Some days, we're bloody busy.
Yeah, we get busy. So, and for me, Morelia by Design or Darren Whittaker, Messenger or Facebook, whatever, we are here. So, thanks, guys. Thanks, Adam. Awesome. I'll watch the replay. And Denny, love these chats, boys. When we talk about education, this is the chats with experts. I don't know if we're experts, but yeah.
We can talk like experts.
Yeah, we just pretend.
Darren's an expert talker.
Yes, drip under pressure, an expert. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for dropping in, listening, watching, and joining in. Appreciate it, and we will see you soon
with some eggs and cool shit.
Yeah, eggs, triple heads, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. We'll catch you on the next one. Good night.